We are live, I think, or at least getting close to there. As soon as I see it pop up on stream, there we go. We are live. Let's go. Sorry for not starting the stream a little earlier. Today's been a bit of a day. All right. So, the plan for today is I need to go through my entire not right now. I plan on streaming a bit later after I go to work. But today, I want to try and get through as much of my encounter table and make descriptions for each event as best as I can, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking, right? And that'll honestly, I'm gonna need to go over and over again. I'm it. I have an entire thing here. I'm gonna have to create. I'm gonna actually have to, instead of making this a note, I have to turn this into a folder, and then so I'm gonna do that real quick. New folder. Event descriptions. There we go. I need a new folder with event descriptions, and then I need multiple new folders. We'll call this one weather. We'll call the next one weather. We call the next one combat. Then we'll go ship trouble. Yeah, we'll call it ship trouble for now. I might change that name. What the hell are you doing, rabbit? Whatever. Then we have new folder. Special. Let's go miscellaneous instead of special. And then I think those are actually the only 4 that I should need to do, because the rest of these, I'm kind of, how do I put this? When it comes to these, I can easily make more or anything like that. But the other 2 options I have for my encounter table are either nothing happens or a random island, right? And random island is really easy to do. I just got to go into my islands tab and then go to either whether I want to do common or unique islands. I just find an island and then I roll the dice on what's here, right? Speaking of, if you have not seen my stream in a little while, this looks a little more organized than it used to be. And that's because I spent literally an hour straight going through and making each one of my islands have actual organization and shit. Some of these actually have their own characters organized in. I think, yeah, Perceive has its own related characters in its tab now. Because I got really tired of looking at, when opening this drop down menu, I just had a bunch of just notes. So, yeah. And by the way, my Discord is now live. I keep forgetting to link it. I should do that when I get the chance. But I do, in fact, have a Discord now. Go join that if you're interested in what I'm making. You can post a bunch of ideas in there, talk about random D&D stuff. You can post art that you have in there. It's cool. It's cool. I recommend it. But okay, back to all this shit. We have that, event descriptions. Let's go through these one at a time, right? Because this stat blocks fucking thing, I want to get rid of this. And what I'm going to probably be doing is, instead, I'm going to be making a new folder for just miscellaneous mechanics. And I'll have the stat blocks for those individual mechanics. I'll have a thing for boat or wave rider stats. I'll decide on the actual name eventually. And I have I'll have it probably either its own folder, or in that own folder, the stained sea will have its own folder, which will just be hold on, let me edit that. And it'll have a bunch of different checks involved: drinking it, swimming in it, cooking with it, using it as a weapon. Like there's a lot of things here, and also this entire thing not gonna be staying. I like the idea of it being like a bunch of different types of damage happening all at once, so it overloads your system instead of it being like 2D poison, 2D psychic. That's just it's cringe. It making it 4d6 of only two different type of poison, like two different type of like damage types, when it is genuinely just a magical soup, is I think a little cringe, and I think could be a lot cooler. So it if I get to it, this is next. I'm gonna make a miscellaneous tab that'll be like where the stain C, the boat stats, and a couple other things go. And then past that point, I have rules to do. We can probably put the bad item ideas in the miscellaneous tab too. Like it the only thing the only really things that I want on the main screen that are just notes are the campaign rules, the concepts, the lore dump, and the narrative. Everything else, the bad item ideas and the stat blocks, and now all the encounter table stuff, should be filed away into folders. And I should have, I'm thinking, what is it? It would be 6 folders. Because I could throw the bad item ideas and the stat blocks into the miscellaneous folder. And yeah, 6 folders and 4 notes. And granted, those folders are highly detailed, but still. There's a lot of shit in all of these now. But, alright. And now that I've filled out the islands, I've filled out the... I haven't filled out the shop tables or anything. Really, the only two that I'm, like, at least slightly relevant, like, slightly okay on, are the islands and the organization descriptions. I'm going to get much further in depth into these eventually, but I want to know at the very beginning, just make sure everything is presentable and I have at least a baseline. So, let's start with combat. We get a new note called Pirate Ship Encounter. Okay. The party encounters a hostile pirate ship on the open ocean. I mean, at the end of the day, depending on how far the party is in the campaign, I can increase the amount of vessels, I can change around the amount of things. A hostile pirate vessel. Now, what I really need to do, something that is going to be very important for future, for pretty much all of these going forward, is getting a format down so that it's easily readable as soon as it happens. And then when I go to my full table, I'm going to link everything here so that I can just be like, oh, they got pirate ship, click on it, I'm there. I have stat blocks, I have all of that. And I'm going to throw stat blocks in later, but for now, I just need a description of what can happen and options to go forward with, right? I'll go through and do all the stat blocks whenever I feel like doing math, but I just don't right now. The party encounters a hostile pirate vessel in the open ocean. Potential enemy spreads. We have one main vessel with a crew of pirates. We have 3 to 5 smaller vessels, each manned by 1 to 3 pirates. We could have maybe, what do we think? I have one main vessel with a crew of pirates, and I have 3 to 5 smaller vessels, each manned by 1 to 3 pirates. Yeah, one main vessel, 3 to 5 smaller vessels. Hmm. Potential enemy spreads. I mean, that'd be about it, right? 45 small vessels. I could roll like a d6 for how many like small vessels we get. That'd be fun. Or a d4 if that is too many. Roll a d6. Yeah, roll say 1 to 6. Smaller vessels each manned by 1 to 3 pirates. All swarm the party's vessel. And then all right. Enemy behaviors. All right. Now this is the fun part. Since pirates specifically aren't necessarily looking to like sink a ship or anything like that, they're looking to steal all the valuables and then sink the ship. Their main priority is to board and murder and or capture the party members. Main priority is to board the ship, to either kill / capture the party members. If all party members are captured, the second priority is to loot the vessel of all valuables. And the third priority, honestly, yeah, I think changing these into priorities just means the enemies have just a bit more to work with. Because yeah. Third priority is survival. Like enemy behaviors, yeah. Main priority is to board the ship. Yeah. You know what? We'll do that. We're gonna have a main and a secondary priority to loot and capture the ship. To loot the ship. To loot the ship of all its belongings. Second priority would be to sink the ship. Second priority would be to sink the ship. It would be basically if I am planning out this potential encounter, right? And if basically what ends up happening is like what these enemies are coming in to do is to board and capture the ship, not necessarily immediately sink it. So the weapons they use and everything like that would be with that kind of methodology in mind, right? So I know it probably isn't necessary, but having an enemy behaviors like tab on like thing on here is just so much easier for me to be like, oh, okay, these enemies are wanting to board the ship, and then if that can't happen, then they sink the ship. Or they attempt to, right? And then we can have potential stat blocks. And then we're gonna leave this blank because I don't want to deal with that. In my last stream I explained how I do like not differential, like my health bar on an enemy is dynamic. I do dynamic health bars because that way I can choose whether an enemy like I can choose basically when an enemy dies within like 5 HP. That way like if let's say for example for like both sides of this, right? If my party members come up and I have if a combat encounter happens and I have like I have underestimated the party as a whole in terms of combat ability. And I come up with like I'm going to say 4 20 HP dudes, and the immediate fucking, like, some party member rolls a 13 and they deal 20, they deal like 24 damage in one hit. It was a high roll, but they just instantly fucking one shot the guy. I think that it like, things are just not necessarily great in that aspect, and it I think that by making the HP like a little more dynamic, I can make the combat counters at least a little more interesting. They might still be really easy, but they don't go down in one hit every time, and I'll just use my, critical thinking skills to be like, was that a crazy roll? And if that wasn't a crazy roll, then I won't. Or if it was a crazy roll, then you know what? The guy dies. Who cares? But if it wasn't a crazy roll and that was just an average one, then I want to make my enemies at least able to live a hit, right? And then on the opposite side of that, if the party goes in and like, let's say that crazy roll actually happens and it doesn't kill, right? Like, we've all had that situation where we're playing a character and we get this crazy roll and we get to like roll all the dice and like do all the cool effects and make them do like saves and all of that, and like this super crazy roll, and you get like, enemy has 25 HP, you dealt 23. That feels like shit, right? You do this super crazy roll and the enemy's just still fucking there. I personally believe that at that moment in time, that enemy suddenly loses 2 HP to a random cancer tumor, and then you one shot that enemy, right? I think that's cool. It's why I do dynamic HP bars. And I got that idea from where did I get that idea from? I don't think I stole. Did I come up with that? No, I'm not that smart. I cannot think of where I heard that from, but I started using it in the campaign, in the most recent version of this campaign that I ran. And I just kind of didn't. And I would just like on the fly be like, oh, this guy gets a few more HP, this guy gets a few less HP. It also allows me to like a little bit randomize the HP of all of my enemies. Because if they may all be the same type of enemy, but them all having like different HPs makes the party like second guessing. Or like sometimes one of them will die to 20 damage, while the other, like, one of them is dealt 17 damage and they die, while the other is dealt 20 damage and they live for some reason. And the party's like, wait, that's really confusing. And I think that that adds a dimension to the game that I like. So, all that. But I also will say at the very beginning that I do that to the party members. I don't like hiding that fact. I think that by hiding that, it makes it sinister for whatever reason, even though what I'm doing isn't really bad. I don't know. I feel weird not, like, clarifying that, right? But that's fine. That is fine. I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay. Keep going. Giant shark. Now, this is a fun one. I did this quite a few times where I would just have a giant, like, fucking megalodon-sized shark. Yeah, I'm just going to write that exact fucking sentence down. Giant megalodon-sized shark. Hey, I spelt it right that time. Spawns out of the ocean and attacks the boat. Now, just to make sure, how did I do this? Yeah, potential enemy spreads. Yeah, I think for my potential enemy spread, enemy, I think we have one shark. One shark. We have 1 to 2 sharks. Hello, 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 new viewers. I'm writing out a bunch of descriptions of different encounter tables. What's up, Liz? I have a Discord now. Hold on, I need to get the link. I made the Discord. I don't know if you watch any of the YouTube channel stuff, but I made the Discord. I did it. Hold on. Oh, I don't want to deal with that. Move that over here. I made it. I did it. I made the Discord. I did the thing. You should subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to know about that. You should really subscribe. I announced it like 2 days ago. Hold on. Oop. Hold on. I need to get the invite link. Bam. Bam, 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 bam. There we go. There you go. You can now join the Discord. You can be the second member that isn't like me and admins. I have one other guy from YouTube who's been giving ideas and stuff. Which, by the way, during one of these streams over the next few days, I plan on going through all of the ideas on Discord. I'm thinking like doing it once a week, just going through all the ideas on Discord, parsing through them, being like, okay, which ones do I like? Which ones do I want to like expand on? And we'll do something like that, right? 1 to 2 sharks. That's it. And then we have, what did I call it? Enemy behaviors. Yeah. Yeah. First priority is to destroy the ship. First priority is to destroy the ship. The sharks see it as a threat. See it as a threat. The shark sees it as a threat. Sharks sees it as a threat and wants it gone. So it will attempt attacks on the hull first. Second priority is survival. If HP drops below a certain threshold, I don't know if that's the way you actually spell threshold, but whatever. If HP drops below a certain threshold, it will leave combat. Okay. I guess actually that's a good thing to do. Second priority would be to sink the ship. Leave no witnesses. Maybe grab from the wreckage. Third priority would be fleeing. Would be retreating. Third priority would be retreating. Retreating to survive. Yeah, that's how I'll do that. Woo. Yeah. First priority is to destroy the ship, and then the second priority is survival, right? Hello, welcome to the stream. Nice to see whoever this is. Alright, what's the next one? Harpy Island. Fun. This is great. God, I remember. I have a really funny fucking story about this specific Harpy Island. So, in an old version of this campaign, I had this Harpy Island be a random encounter that you could just find, and I somehow got it like in the first 3 sessions. 2 or 3 sessions. And this Harpy Island, it had like, I'm gonna say 3 harpies on it and a nest. And it would kind of be like a siren kind of thing. And genuinely almost party wiped midsection. Oh, I will check the Discord after stream. I don't like pulling it up just because I have sensitive, or not necessarily I have sensitive stuff on there, but I don't like, I don't know, the servers I'm in. I'd rather keep them, like, I know I showed them in the like intro video on YouTube, but I'll look at it after. As I said, I'm going to do a full stream later this week, probably on Wednesday or Thursday, just going through all the Discord stuff and being like, okay, this is this is this, this is this. Like, going through all the ideas and art and all of that and putting it where it's supposed to. That way I can do it all at once instead of just throughout different streams. It seems more convenient and easy that way. But anyways, I had the harpies immediately use an action that I definitely should have, that like stunned the entire party for like 2 or 3 rounds, and one person almost got downed, or 2 people almost got downed within the first 2 rounds out of 4 total party members. And the only reason that anyone survived is because I had a broken fucking cleric on the team that just fucking tanked and healed everything. Excuse me. And I learned a lesson that day, which was don't use the strongest ability of an enemy immediately into the fight. You got to think about what the enemy wants to do and how the enemy would use its own things. But you also got to understand that if you start out with the strongest fucking shit and the party gets unlucky, you could just fucking team wipe. So making it's the reason why bosses have 2 phases, right? And the second one's harder. If you made the entire phase fucking bullshit, it'd just be Dark Souls. And some people like that. Most D&D players don't. There's a reason they're playing in their imaginations and not with their hands. But anyways, outcropping of rock. You know what? We're gonna actually call this a harpy nest. Small outcropping of rock. I hope that is okay, Liz. But I will look at it soon. I'll add it into I'll go through and add everything in on like Wednesday or Thursday. Small outcropping of rock where harpies have made a nest. Okay, and then we can go enemy spreads. Enemy. We got, I'm thinking like 2 to 4 adult harpies. Like 2 to 4 adult harpies. Yeah. 2 to 4 adult harpies along with maybe some babies. Bye-bye. I'll talk to you soon. Adult harpies along with some baby harpies. Okay, and then we can go... Oh, I can probably just go... Oh, that's intelligent. I don't have to do an entire tab up for this. Yeah, that's easier. That's much easier. Oh yeah, I guess I can add in the potential stat block. And do that later, because I don't want to do stat blocks today. I just want to get a description in. Enemy behavior. Killing the party. Charming the party with, charming the party. Be charming the party and eating them. Second priority would be initiating combat with the party. Please let me choose initiating. Thank you. Initiating combat with the party and then killing them. And then eating them. Third priority is the protection of their nest. Actually, instead of having just enemy behaviors and having priority, we're gonna have once enemy behaviors. Um, I think having first and second priorities is fine, but I think at the end of the day, I don't want. Yeah, main priority, second priority would be sink the ship, and third priority would be retreating to survive. Let's go, instead of doing main priorities, we're gonna go, hello, new viewer, how's it going? I have an encounter table for my campaign, and I'm making a bunch of descriptions, because right now all it is just one 1 to 3 words, or 1 to 4, I guess. And I just need to make a bunch of descriptions so that I'm not floundering mid-campaign, right? Okay. Back to this. Okay, so I would think that instead of doing this, instead of having main and sub priorities, let's go. Main goal is to loot and. Main goal is to loot and steal all valuables off the ship, and then. And will do so by any means necessary, including killing, capturing, and killing. Main goal is to loot and steal all valuables off the ship, and will do so by any means necessary, including capturing and stealing. Will retreat if it is to. They will start this by attempting to board, and if that doesn't work, they will attempt to sink the ship with heavy weaponry and pillage the remains. Will retreat if situation gets too out of hand. Gets too out of hand. That's better. I like having a main goal, but I like also having like different behaviors that they will do, right? So like main goal is to destroy the ship. Main goal is to destroy the ship. The shark sees it as a threat and wants it gone, so it will attempt to attacks on the hull first. Second priority, will retreat if HP drops below a certain. Will retreat if HP drops below a certain threshold, as it values its own survival. Okay. That's good. And we're gonna continue that. Um, hmm. The nest of harpies preys on individual ships. There's an individual ships. Preys on ship crews and use the crews and use their remains to feed both themselves and their young. Therefore, their priorities are to either charm the party or kill them and then eat the remains. Will not retreat. Will only retreat as far as their nest as they defend their young. As defending their young. Their young is a higher priority than as deleting their young is a higher priority than their own lives. And then we'll add in the obligatory potential stack blocks. All right. Next one we got Goblin Treasure Cruiser. Now, what the hell was I thinking when I wrote down the words Goblin, Treasure, and Cruiser? I think this was a riff on a different thing where I had like a little treasure island where like it would just pop out of the sea with a bunch of goblins. And then the goblins were all like, it was like a Breath of the Wild kind of thing, where it was just a group of goblins all defending this treasure chest with their lives that would just pop out of the sea out of nowhere, right? I think it was a riff on that, but I'm kind of trying to figure out what the hell this actually means. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Um, you know, goblin. Hmm. Hmm. Let's go Goblin Looter Cruiser. I'm gonna call it that instead, and you'll see why in a second. Small vessel loaded with a small army of goblins. Um. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dedicated to stealing treasure. Stealing valuables. Mm-hmm. 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 From unsuspected parties under the cover of night. Now that might be something that I look into. Having a split between daytime and nighttime events. Like there are some events like the harpy nest or the giant shark that could like happen at either time throughout the day. But like having something that could happen at nighttime, like with the this looter cruiser, or the daytime with the pirate ship. Uh huh. Yeah, under the cover of night. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go enemy. Enemy spreads. I'm thinking like a decent sized, uh, like I'm gonna say 7 to 10 goblins. Like 7 to 10 goblins are on this vessel. Like there are 7 to 10 goblins. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna put 7 to 10 goblins. Mm-hmm. 7 to 10 goblins on the vessel, and then we have enemy behaviors. One day I'll spell enemy right the first try. So, first thing is that they use stealth over conventional fighting tactics. Mm-hmm. Use stealth over conventional fighting tactics. Mm-hmm. 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 Quick to retreat if spotted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll prioritize stealing valuables over actually engaging in combat. Mm-hmm. Over actually engaging in combat. Quick to retreat if spotted. Mm-hmm. Will run away with any stolen loot. Cool. And then we can have stat blocks down here. There we go. We are making pretty good progress. All things considered. Okay, keep going. Undersea bandits. So, oh yeah, I guess I do have, like, weather effects combined with this. I think I'm good. Why the hell do I have a mafia encounter here? Yeah, whatever. You know what? It might actually... I'm going to rename this to combative. Or hostile. Yeah, we're going to change it from combat to hostile. because a lot of these can actually be escaped through dialogue, like the like they can be escaped through just like warding off, like with the Goblin Treasure Cruiser, or just paying off, like with the pirate ship, or anything. Like a lot of these encounters, like unlike the ones that are genuinely monsters, it can be solved through just conventional, just talking your way out of it. But otherwise, meh. Okay. So undersea bandits. How do I want to do this? Because originally, what this was a race of mer people that had like been mutated and evolved over time. That would jump out and attack the party for anything valuable, just to kill the party. Because I was very one dimensional back when I was making these. I would never like make the enemies attempt to retreat or anything like that. Are all of these like willing to retreat? By the way, I know the pirate ship will, though it's much less likely to retreat than anything else. And this is incredibly quick to retreat. This one will retreat, but it's because I plan on making it uber fucking powerful. So you have to do like ship combat with an actual shark. And then this one just won't. It will only go as far as their nest. So if you destroy the nest, then they're gone, right? Okay. All right. We'll go instead of going with what I initially went. Um hmm. Hmm. I'm thinking maybe I still like the idea of having just like a group of undersea bandits that just like come up and fuck with your ship. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna still call them undersea bandits. Hmm. Under the cover of night. A group of people mutated by the sea, by the painted sea. Group of people mutated by the painted sea who have lost their minds. Attack the boat. In search of food. In search of food. Yeah, under the cover of night, a group of people mutated by the painted sea who have lost their minds attack the boat in search of food. I'll eventually link Painted Sea to the actual document Painted Sea. Well, I don't have a document for yet. It's just in stat blocks, and I plan on going very in depth into the, you know, properties of that water. But you'll see. Cover of night, a group of people mutated by the Painted Sea who have lost their minds attack the boat in search of food. Enemy spread. Honestly, anywhere between like this honestly can just get more and more as the campaign goes on. The longer the campaign like goes on, the more people you will see coming out of these encounters because more people are just showing up and falling in, right? So I think we'll go that. Start out with like 3 to 5, and for each session after the first, add an additional one. We'll go with that. I think that's a cool way to be like, yeah, this world is developing outside. Enemy behavior. These people will not retreat, or these enemies will not retreat. Mainly because they are in search of food and are desperate. These undersea scavengers is what I'm going to call them. Attack the boat in search of food. These mindless zombies are only interested in food and nothing else to satiate. Mindless zombies. I'm going to put zombies in quotations because they are obviously are not like that. Are only interested in food and nothing else. They are very desperate to survive. So they will attack the party to kill, and they will not retreat. There we go. I think that's good. And then obligatory stat blocks thing here. All right. Well, seeing as I am back down to one viewer, or one viewer, zero viewers, the one viewer is me watching on my own monitor, I can continue talking to YouTube chat. So, what is it? I know last time I talked about, like, how I deal with, like, certain quote-unquote problematic players when it comes to, like min-maxers, joke, like, people who can only play joke characters, like, rules benders and rules lawyers and stuff like that. I honestly don't mind a rules lawyer. But I also will under it. I think I forgot to talk about rules lawyer. Quick summary for that. I don't really give a shit if you're a rules lawyer or anything like that. But at the end of the day, this campaign is made by me and it has a lot of its own rules. And I have not looked at a source book or not a source book or the rules book, and I'm gonna say like 3 years. I have been doing this off of knowledge that I've gained off of YouTube shorts and random YouTube videos, and everything else is just from my imagination. If I can find a stat block to use for a megalodon, I'll use a stat block for a megalodon. If I can find a stat block for harpies, I'll use a harpies. If I have like underwater zombies and shit too, I'll use that. I don't have knowledge of stat blocks. I don't have knowledge of what things are supposed to be, how strong, or anything like that. And if somebody's gonna rules lawyer me of, well, a goblin is only supposed to have 15 HP or whatever, I'm just gonna say, sorry, my goblins are stronger. Sucks to be you. My entire campaign style, like my entire like storytelling style, is me just playing shit by ear. And I don't think a rules lawyer survives very long in that environment. Okay. National Navy. Corrupt. Look at that. Now, see, this is one of the more fun ones. Because, or not the National Navy. I need to actually turn this into the, yeah, the Joint Naval Forces. The National Navy was the original name for this, and it is a bad name. The Joint Naval Forces. Yeah. Yeah, well. But yeah, what is it? There was another one. Right, I was talking about, different, like, those contested role things. Where I was talking about how, like, I deal with, like, how, like, the, like, binary topics, like, are min-maxers like okay in settings and all of that, or which is better, milestone or XP, and you know what? We'll talk about that one. Milestone versus XP. There are merits to both. I think that both are totally fine to be used. Um, a ship from the Joint National Naval Forces. But like it, there are absolutely both benefits to being used because for one, no matter what, like after a combat encounter or after like anything else, your party gets a very like specific number that tells them, "Hey, we're doing a good job," right? We're getting shit done. We are leveling up. We are progressing. We are moving forward with the campaign with XP. And however, it is annoying to track. It can lead to like metagaming with players where they just go and like grind like an area for a bit. Like if I don't have like respawnable enemies or anything, they'll just like sail out on the open ocean just repeatedly getting certain combat encounters. Like it just like grinding XP that way, and with how many times shit like that happens, unless I make XP like really low for a lot of my shit, I don't necessarily think that having a it I personally would rather go with milestone. for two main reasons. One, I don't want to track the XP of enemies. I don't want to keep track of who killed what because I know the fact that players won't fucking do it. I don't want to keep track of like how much each enemy has XP wise. Cause I'm just gonna say a random fucking number and it's gonna be too high or too low. It like it if you've noticed throughout this entire building process, the reason why I'm adding descriptions and enemy behaviors and all of these things because I am a dumb stupid idiot. I'm a dumb, stupid idiot who can't remember anything, so when he writes something down, unless there's an actual description of it, he forgets. He's stupid. And it's why, like, here, hold on. Like, the shop tables, right? I had a comment on one of my recent videos when I was talking about the shop tables and why I put them in. Because I always thought it was so annoying to have to go through all of my like own document, like just like, just like every time the party was at a residential island, or anytime like basically anytime the party was at an island that was at least partially residential, there was a shop, and they were going to go and see it, and they were going to ask me for everything in the fucking shop, and it. I'm gonna say at least once a session I would get asked that. Unless it was a session that was literally only on the open ocean, I would get asked what is in a shop. And I will just make up random shit because I am okay at improv. I can do that. I improved this entire campaign, and it's why I got this far with all this ideas. I have so many ideas because I improved so many things, and I can just look back on those and be like, what worked, what didn't, and then apply what did work. And then innovate a bit more. But when I improv, there are times when I do a little fucky wucky and make something crazy, right? I'll fix that at some point. But and that's why really I get and it's why I kind of like am doing all of this like really heavy descriptive like very heavily descriptive thing, right? Of just going through every single encounter table option and being like, okay, what could potentially happen? What are potential ways that I could spin this? What are new ways I can do it? What are old ways I can do it? And you know, I'm thinking like it's probably not bad, right? It I do this just so that my brain can focus on the important shit, which is telling a good story in the moment. And I can improv a good story, but if I have to juggle good story plus random NPC personality that I never bothered to name because by naming an NPC was cringe, apparently, according to past me. Like I was juggling the NPC, the shop table, the what's going on with the ship, I was making up boat combat just completely on the fly, basically. I didn't have like a specific boat HP for like different sizes of boats or anything like that. I didn't have anything like it. And the entire time, I would see the term white squall, and I'd have to look up in Google what the fuck is a white squall. And I think it's just like a silent like a windstorm with like just wind. I remember specifically white squall for that reason. But yeah, I I really set myself up for failure if I give myself too many opportunities to improv. And when it comes to stuff like this is very easily something that I can link into the full table and be like, oh, okay, I need to roll a d10 and figure out, okay, which one of these do I get? Oh, I got this one. Click. Cool. I am in a page where it has my stat blocks. It has the amount of enemies that are probably going to be on the players are going to be dealing with, and it has the behaviors that they're probably going to be making. And I can always riff on the situation, but by applying my ability to improv in areas that really need it, like enemy actions, enemy like it's specifically enemy actions over the course of the combat. I can or like enemy actions in response to their environment or anything like that, something that I can't control. If it's something that I can control, like a kind of phenotype for how this encounter would work or could work, it I don't I that is it's so much easier on everyone, especially the players, because I don't have to sit there and be like, fuck, how do I do this? Every single time I pull up an encounter table, like I roll an option on the encounter table that I just don't inherently know how to fucking use. Right? If I don't just inherently know what I want to do with it, then I have to sit there and take up like time mid campaign, like 3 to 5 minutes just to come up with something. When in reality, I could just do this and spend that 5 to 10 minutes figuring it out beforehand, and then use the time in there to like actually be doing it. It saves so much like and all of those like things. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. It was fun where everything was different all the time, and it was constantly chaotic and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's a lot more fun for everyone if I at least have a guideline. The parties vote and flag. Vessel and flags them down. A ship from the joint naval forces approaches the party's vessel and flags them down. They do the routine check of their ID badge and their mission within the that is their mission within the what's the name of it? Explorers Union. And shenanigans ensue. Enemy spread. Now this is a fun one for this, because I could easily have this be like 2 ships, like 1 to 2 ships. I'm gonna say 1 to 2 vessels. Honestly, 1 to 3, depending on like length of campaign and how wanted they are by the joint naval forces. Enemy spread is 1 to 3 vessels. 30-person crew per 30-person crew per vessel. I'm gonna say 25 to 30. Okay. And then enemy behaviors. This is the fun part, because this entire fucking combat thing, if the party encounters this really early, the only way you're getting out of this is by talking, right? There is no fighting out of this, because at the end of the day, these people might not be D&D characters, but this is a full 30-person crew operating a military vessel with high-grade weaponry, and that is meant to enforce peace, right? And I think that overall, there are going to be quite a few people, especially now that the ownership of the joint naval forces, joint naval forces vessel. We're gonna put vessel up here. But especially now that like ownership has changed over, there's going to be a lot of people out there abusing the power of the joint naval forces to like just earn money or anything like that. So that's what this is going to be. If the players won't know what kind of encounter I roll, right? So like here, hold on. What the hell is Untitled? Oh. Rename Misc. What? Miscellaneous. Fine. But it'll basically be anytime a joint naval forces like vessel comes up to them, it is going to be a guessing game of whether or not this vessel is out to scam them or out to, or just help them, right? Or point them in the right direction or anything like that. Is this person helpful or hurtful? And they have to figure that out through dialogue, right? And there are just going to be a bunch of speech checks, like refusing to identify themselves, or like asking certain things, like, "Oh, where are you going? What kind of goods are you carrying on your ship?" Uh, and then like eventually we'll just pull the bullshit line of, "Well, according to insert random doctrine here, we have the ability to search your vessel, and we believe that we have probable cause." Fun fact, just fun fact for y'all. This is a metaphor or simile or whatever the fuck you'd call it, relating to the U.S. police force. Bitch ass motherfuckers. And will illegally seize a bunch of shit. And yeah, and then the party just has to like kind of decide: am I gonna fight? Am I gonna be incredibly sarcastic? Am I gonna persuade? It's gonna be a giant speech check, and I think that's funny as hell. This is a corrupt crew of the Joint Naval Forces. I will remember one of these days. This is a corrupt crew of the Joint Naval Forces. What they are looking for is to gain as much money slash as much money as they can out of an interaction by extorting the party. This is a corrupt crew of the Joint Naval Forces. What they are looking for is to gain as much money as they can out of an interaction, but out of the interaction by extorting the party. By extorting the party and abusing their clearance. Clearance. There it is. That's how you spell words. This is a corrupt crew of the Joint Naval Forces. What they are looking for is to gain as much money as they can out of the interaction by extorting the party and abusing their power. And will abuse their power to do so. Bam. This is a corrupt crew of the Joint Naval Forces. What they are looking for is to gain as much money as they can out of the interaction by extorting the party and will abuse their power to do so. We'll pull tricks. Like searching the vessel, searching the party, seizing any property they believe to be stolen. And act like fucking dicks. Act like dicks the entire time. Let's go jerks. I don't want to put too much. I don't want to put any profanity in the docs, right? That'd be cringe. That'd be cringe as hell, right? Okay. There's a corrupt view of the Joint Naval Forces. They are looking for is to gain as much money as they can out of an interaction by extorting the party and will abuse their power to do so. Will pull tricks like searching the vessel, searching the party, seizing any property they believe to be stolen, and act like jerks. Will fight if the party initiates, but will not start initiative on their own. Will fight if the party initiates, but will not start initiative on their own. Let's see. Low likelihood they retreat. Low likelihood that they retreat because of overconfidence and the perceived loss of rank. If any found out if any spear found out what they were doing. Perceived loss. Yep. Cool. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then stat blocks, who knows? Honestly, I'm going to be writing these for a long period. I'm going to be doing all of the... You know what? I think This stream, I'm just going to do the hostile ones. I don't think I have enough time to do all of these today. As we can see, these have taken a bit longer than I expected with how much I've had to deal with. Crabs. What the fuck? Well, dude. Dude. Zolt, come on. Come on. Really? Crabs. Crabs. That's the entire encounter. Crabs. Fuck you, I guess. Crabs. What the fuck is a giant vulture flock? Am I gonna get terms of service if I have a slave cargo ship on here? Can I say that word? In a hateful or targeted manner. Interesting. So, I'm not supposed to use it in anything. I could just say indentured servants in quotations. That would probably get me out of a lot of trouble. But, Alright, for now I gotta deal with crabs. What if crabs? Crabs. Come on, man. Crabs. That's all you're giving me? There's a better way to do this. I could go giant crabs. There are two ways that I can go with this. You know what? Crab wave. We are literally going crab wave. Yes, this is a reference. Yes, I am fucking old. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Crab wave. Crab that rides along ocean waves and attaches itself to anything organic. Specifically, wooden structures. There's a species of crab that rides along the ocean waves and attaches itself to anything organic, specifically wooden structures. These crabs eat wood. These crabs eat wood. Eat wood. Wood, but eat practically anything, any biomaterial, including wood. Alright. This species of crab rides along ocean waves and attaches itself to anything organic, specifically wooden structures. Alright. Now, for enemy spreads. I have two options here. 7 to 10 giant crabs. Or just the more fun option, around 200 small crabs. Now see, this is funny. Because we're thinking, right, like middle of the day, nothing's going on. And then suddenly, out in the distance, for some reason, you see a red wave. And you're like, man, that's really weird. Is there like somebody in there bleeding out? Or like, is it some other thing? Or anything like that? And then slowly, further and further, you realize that it is not a red wave. It is a wave that is just covered in small, termite-like crabs. And you have the oh shit moment of, how the fuck? What the fuck am I supposed to do? This is why you have a spellcaster that knows Thunder Wave, by the way. Or any area of effect spell. It's this, right here. The 200 small crabs option, which I will be using 9 times out of 10, because it is much funnier. Let's go. Enemy behaviors. Enemy. I've got fucking Jesus Christ. Okay. 7 to 10 giant crabs, 200 small crabs. Okay. Okay. 7 to 10 giant crabs, 200 small crabs. Enemy behaviors. These crabs sustain themselves on food, sustain themselves on biomaterial, and once latched on, will not let go without force. They do not have the mind. They do not have the cognitive ability to understand that they are in danger and should retreat. They only know to eat wood. No, to break down and eat wood. Oh, I could use like crab saliva to break down wood. Isn't that interesting? Hold on. Break down any biomaterial using their saliva, including wood, and will then eat it. Yep. These crabs sustain themselves on biomaterial, and once latched on will not let go without force. They do not have the cognitive ability to understand that they are in danger to retreat. They only know how to break down and eat wood. They only know break down to. They only know to break down and eat wood. Cool. This is a force of nature that should not be trifled with. Stat blocks. Honestly, I could probably just fill this out now. Bigger crabs would be a lot harder to deal with, like 30, 40 something HP. Have a few different attacks with like claws and like the breaking down, like acidic kind of saliva and shit like that. And then all the tiny crabs would not really be attacking, they'd just be a massive nuisance. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, only 2 more, and I only have to work in an hour and a half. We're getting there. Or not 2 more. Because honestly, I'm skipping giant vulture flock. Is this 8 or 7? 7. Okay, I do want to get 3 more. I'll be totally real. I don't know what what I'm gonna do about this. I think that I'll do Kraken and Ghost Ship real quick, and then I'm gonna make a new one. Because I'll be totally honest with you. It an indentured servitude like system would not still be functional after the time skip that I've put in place. It would be a massive opportunity for any slave, or I need to stop saying that word, for any indentured servant to be able to free themselves quite easily, because indentured servant masters would just be completely removed. They would be scattered all over the fucking continent, and there would be no chance, right, of rounding up everything again. It quote unquote merchandise, not saying that I agree with it, but people would run away. They would use this opportunity to escape. I get I get the narrative thing, right? Of, man, these people are so broken, like beyond their thing, that they don't know anything else other than this life. Bullshit. Indomitable human spirit, baby. I it I don't I cannot imagine. I guess you know what? You know what? It's because I'm white. That's why I can't imagine it. It's because I'm white. I am a fucking bitch ass white motherfucker who doesn't know anything. That's why. That's why. God damn it. All right. A creature living in the deep in the depths of the ocean will only show up. Will only show up if there's been a great disturbance on the surface of the water, or if it's time for it to feed, and will have different behaviors depending. I have a feeling for enemy spread. I don't think I do more than one Kraken. No. Bad Zolt. No. You don't. You are not allowed to have two Krakens kaiju fight with the boat in the middle, with the party's vessel. No, Badzol, you are not allowed to have two Kraken. Okay, look. Look. This can't be on the encounter table. But we have an island later down the line. I have an idea for. It's a temple that's going to be very lore important. And then once the party gets there and figures out a bit of information, discovers a certain little thingy, this certain little thingy is going to be like, all right, fuck you guys. And then two Krakens happen. And the entire island is just ravaged between the like territorial dispute of two giant fucking Krakens the size of the island itself. It's just to like erase all evidence and everything. That would be really cool. But I can't put it in the encounter table. I can't. I really want to. I really want to. But I can't. Okay. I am no fun. I'll get to do it. I want to do a kaiju fight between two Krakens. I am desperate. I am desperate to do this. If the Kraken awoke due to a disturbance. Living in the depths of the ocean. Staying dormant for 99% of the time it's alive. It will only show up if there's been a great disturbance on the surface of the water or if it's time to feed, and will have different behaviors depending on the situation. Kraken awoke due to a disturbance. It will enter a blind rage and immediately start destroying whatever is on the surface, regardless of what it is. Now, see, the thing is, Kraken is not going to be an option for, like, the majority of the campaign. You aren't going to find this fucker, really. Except for, like, the one story thing that I just talked about, right? You aren't going to get recommended this. And there's a specific reason for that, because it's impossible to fucking fight this thing on a boat. The only way that having a Kraken encounter in the early campaign works is that if I go with my Wave Rider idea over just the normal boat ideas, because I have an idea using my magic system to make a boat that is a lot more maneuverable in combat, and allows it to be, like, smaller with, like, space enhancing, like, runes and shit like that, or space expanding runes and shit like that, allows it to be much more smaller and agile in combat and all this other shit. You know. And unless I implement that, if a normal ass boat comes into contact with a Kraken that is angry, the party dies. All of the shit falls into the fucking sea, and the party dies, campaign's over. So unless I give them that like Wave Rider kind of thing that I've been thinking about this entire time, no, I can't. I can't sick a Kraken on the party. That's just how it is. Okay. The Kraken awoke due to a disturbance and will enter a blind rage and is immediately will immediately start destroying. And will immediately start destroying whatever's on the surface, regardless of what it is. Will only stop once the noises cease. If the Kraken awoke due to it needing to feed, it will grab heat sources, because Krakens have thermal vision. Duh. We'll grab heat sources and drag them under the water. Drag them under the water. I do really... I've had an idea. Just for the giant shark. Just as a little note, not here, but way down here. Roll a D 100 every round. If it lands on 100, a Kraken's arm will reach up, wrap around the shark, and drag it under the surface of the ocean. There we go. This is the kind of shit you love to see. Because goddamn, isn't that funny? Kraken. If the Kraken will do defeating, it will grab heat sources and drag them under the water. After a certain point, it will be finished. Feeding and return to dormancy. Is dormancy a word? That's crazy, that's a word. Can't believe I fucking did that. Okay. The Kraken awoke due to it needing to feed. It will grab heat sources, because Krakens have thermal vision, duh, and drag them under the water. After a certain point, it will be finished feeding and return to dormancy. Not after a certain point, after having its fill. It will be finished feeding and return to dormancy. I'll be totally real. There's never going to be a time where the party just happens upon this while it needs to feed. Otherwise, it will just reach up, grab a party member dies. I'm pretty sure they'd be pretty pissed about that. Stat block. If you have to fight this thing... Think about fighting this thing. And you are not using the right strategy. That is what I'm going to put in the stat blocks tab, because be totally real. No. Okay. Last one that I have at least an idea for is the ghost ship. And then after that I can just fucking delete these. And I don't like giant vulture flock either. And fucking, why did I need to feel the need to make a mafia? Am I stupid? Yeah. Yes. That period. Yes, period. I am stupid. Go ship. Whoa. So, I have two options for this, right? I'm gonna sit up. Two options. I either have a ship that is completely dedicated to like, I have a ship of like a party that was lost at sea, right? Where it's like obviously a broken down ship and the only thing that's running it are ghosts, right? I could have the party be like, I could make this very stereotypical. And you know what I'm not going to do? You know what I don't like doing? Making things stereotypically. We're going to have 8 for now. And the reason for that is that having a ghost ship be a combat encounter is frankly unimaginative and really just not cool, right? Like, come on, anybody can do a ghost ship where you have just ghouls that you fight on the ghost ship, and then you beat the ghouls, then the ship sinks, and then that's it. Sure, it's a cool encounter, but like, where's the creativity behind that? Where's the ingenuity, right? So here, instead of making it a combat encounter, right? Instead of making it, oh, I really need to change the title of the stream. I keep forgetting to do that. One of these days. Hey, you know what? Fixing my encounter table for D&D. There we go. Whee! Alright. Yeah, no. It just making it a combat encounter, cowardice. Coward fucking behavior. So no. We're gonna put this in miscellaneous. And because this is a ship with a previous party that had fallen in another time. Actually, you know what? We'll describe the ship first. The ship itself looks like a normal vessel, but with tattered holes, with holes littered throughout the thing. Oh, hey, a new viewer. What's up? I don't know how long you heard of the ghost ship rant, but I hope it was entertaining. But with the holes littered throughout the hull, it's funny, and a tattered sail hanging off the mast. It is being led by nothing but currents. Led by nothing but currents. And the inhabitants are ghosts of a previous party of adventurers. Venturers. Who previously died. The ship itself looks like a normal vessel, but with holes littered throughout the hull and a tattered sail hanging off the mast. Is led by nothing but currents, and the inhabitants are ghosts of a previous party of adventurers who previously died, who interact favorably with the party upon first meeting them. This is going to be a recurring... I've always wanted to do this. I wasn't able to do it in my last version of the campaign because I didn't really have the creative, ability to really think it up. But I've always wanted, a group of, ghost adventurers who do not know they're dead. And, depending how the party interacts with them, it is either going to be a antagonistic force that'll, repeatedly just show up out of the ocean and be like, "You bastards!" Or if the party sets them down gently and is acting sincere and everything like that, you genuinely get a what would you call it? You get a ship that just shows up every now and then that picks shit up off the ocean floor, right? And either way, it'll do that, but you don't have to fight fucking through ghosts that don't die to get to things that it just picks up off the ocean floor, right? And these aren't adventures from the 2,000 year ago situation. These are couple hundred years ago kind of thing. And I think that that's really cool. Ship itself is like a normal vessel, but if the holes previously died. This group of adventurers. Does not know that they're dead. Does not know that they are dead. Welcome to the stream. I'm writing an encounter table thing, though this is mostly going to be story related. Anyways, Ship itself is like a normal vessel, but with holes littered throughout the hull and a tattered sail hanging off the mast. It is being led by nothing but currents, and the inhabitants are ghosts of a previous party of adventurers who previously died. This group of adventurers does not know that they are dead. They will interact favorably with the party upon meeting them, but it will be obvious. And it will be up to the party on whether to let them know or not. Group of adventurers does not know that they're dead. They will interact favorably with the party upon meeting them, and it will meet up with the party. Depending on how that initial interaction goes, the ghost ship will either become hostile, become an ally, or become hostile, regardless of whether the party actually tells them or not. Will become hostile. This this decision does not come specifically from what is it? This decision does not specifically come from them. This decision does not specifically come from whether they tell the party they're dead or not, but how they handle the discussion. If the ghost ship becomes an ally, it will regularly show up in the open ocean and bring them things from the bottom of the sea, from the ocean floor that the boat picked up. They won't know what these things are. They won't know what these things are. They will... Items include relics from previous civilizations, weapons, armor, etc. If the ghost ship becomes an enemy, it will also regularly show up. And ghost ship becomes an enemy, it will also regularly show up on the open ocean and engage the ship in combat. Now we get to do the fun little combat bit down here. Enemy spreads. Or hold on, actually, we're gonna do this the right way. We have two... Let's see. Wow, this viewer stayed for quite a long time. Let's see. Put in the chat if you want to hear, like, the whole story when it comes to all of this. Because it's a long one. But I am good with summarizing it, all of you, seeing as you seem at least a little interested in what's going on. I have... If the ghost ship becomes an enemy, it will also regularly show up on the open ocean and engage the ship in combat. Enemy spreads. A group of 6 adventurers. Of 6 high-ish level adventurers. A group of 6 high-ish level adventurers with actual combat mechanics in the form of ghosts. Group of 6 high-ish level adventurers with actual combat mechanics in the form of ghosts. Then we have enemy behavior. We have will sink to destroy the crew and their vessel, no matter the cost. They are effectively immortal and will use that time to hunt the party down. Okay. Awesome. We love to see it. Okay, do I have to, like... Okay, I have a feeling that I have to, like, tab this up, and tab that up, and tab that up, and tab that up, so that, yeah, okay. Because been able to regularly show up in the open ocean. Then, finally, as a little blurb down here, just in case. If the ghost ship does become hostile, there will be opportunities for the party to reconcile. But, yeah, if the ghost ship does become hostile, there will be opportunities for the party to reconcile. But, after the third attempt at, what would you call it? Oh, hold on. After the third attempt at winning them over, it will become impossible. All right. Okay. I really like where that went. That was awesome. I am very happy with how that ended up. And now I can go into the full table and I can actually move this into the special events plot points thing. Because that's cool. Yeah, let's go. Oh. Add row after. Bam. Yeah. We'll put the ghost ship into special events / miscellaneous because I think that's cool. And that is honestly so much more interesting than just making it mindless ghosts. I prefer that so much more. And then over time, I'll add more hostile encounters because it honestly, like, I don't like having a ton of hostile things. I think if I have, like, at least 10 in each thing eventually, because I'll have a bunch of islands that can randomly pop up. It'll be a 1d6. Something's probably going to happen. And sometimes it'll just be a random island that pops up. And I'll have, like, a bunch of different, like, ship trouble things. 1 out of 5, like, things are, like, guaranteed to probably be combat encounters, right? It's either combat, you can maybe talk your way out of it, but, like, pretty much the only things you can actually really talk your way out of is the joint naval forces of the pirate ship. Everything else is, like, combat related entirely. And I want 2 more of those. As long as I end up with, like, 10 in each category, I'm happy. And granted, there are a couple of these that I think are entirely unnecessary. What the hell is captured by sniper? What the hell is slip into ethereal plane? Whatever. I don't care. But okay. Unfortunately, this is going to be the point where I end stream. I got to work in an hour, and I am on 2 hours of sleep and not enough caffeine to make it that far. So, I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Whoa. Join my Discord. Follow me on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube. All that stuff.